Very good evening, Dr. Mark Nesan. Thank you very much for joining us today. And audience all over the world, thank you very much for joining us today as well on Sunday B-TIC Talk. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Mark. Let me introduce him, MBBS doctor from Kasturba Medical College, Mangalore, Manipal Academy of Higher Education. And he is a registered medical practitioner on the Karnataka Medical Council, India. Thanks, Dr. Mark. And today the topic is about all you need to know about your medical degree if you studied overseas. That's a great topic because results are getting out in the recent future. And if you get an opportunity to study in a local public medical college, that's fine. And if you miss it out, there are so many people, they seek and search for opportunities to study elsewhere overseas. So there are parents and students, they are confused what's happening in this degree because the procedures, the entry criterions, the course, the qualification, the recognition of it, and after the degree, what happens and so on. So Dr. Mark is a fresh graduated from India, and he's going to share his hands-on experience, very recently he experienced today. So Dr. Mark, thank you very much again. So now, can you please give us an introduction about your experience before you start your medical college admission 5 years back?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, first and foremost. I would like to first mention that it is a decision that you should not take lightly if you want to pursue medicine. You should always think carefully about it because you will not just be putting your life, you'll actually be putting your livelihood and as well as the patient's livelihood at risk as well if you do not commit to it 100%. So let's break this down and go to the first aspect, which is the eligibility criteria into going into medicine. So as a Sri Lankan, I first applied to the Indian Medical Council, and from there onwards, there were multiple universities that caught my attention, and due to its high ranking as well, Manipal Academy of Higher Education really caught my eye. So I applied to that. So you just the first thing you go for when applying to a medical college is just go to their website. Especially Kasturba Medical College, they have everything that you need. All the information is always going to be given on the website. And if it's not given, or if you have any clarifications to see, you can easily message them. You can email them. You can even contact them. All their contact information is also given. So that's how it first started. I just contacted Kasturba Medical College, and it was purely through email. And they initially gave me a confirmation email with all the information. And the first thing that caught my eye in the confirmation email is the eligibility. So in my experience, which was back in 2015, the bare minimum that was required to enter medical university was a minimum of 3 C passes in your A-levels. I'll repeat that. It is a minimum of 3 C passes in your A-levels. Now, as the medical field
that means yes. The main subject, your physics, chemistry, and biology.
Yes, the thing is, chemistry and biology are compulsory. You can either take physics or maths as your third subject, but you need a minimum of 3 passes in C passes in all of them. Now as we're talking about the field of medicine, it's always adapting, and thus even the eligibility criteria is also adapting always. And that moves on to my second point, which is the changing guidelines, which go on to which are specific to every single country's own medical council. So in terms of India, where I studied, the guidelines changed the year after I was admitted into medical college. They have changed the guidelines to the point where there's an all India exam called the NEET, NEET, NEET UG exam, NEET undergraduate exam. So everyone who, all students who want to try to get into medical college, into medical colleges will have to apply for this exam, sit it, and once they get their results, they will be given a rank, and according to the rank, they will be given counseling, and they'll be given interviews, and this pretty much outlines, okay, which medical colleges are they applicable to apply to. Now, coming to foreign medical graduate aspect of this, s- as Sri Lankans going into specifically Sri Lankans as going into India, you will need to give your proof of eligibility as well and write this exam. So you will need to give documentation to the Indian Medical Council stating that you have received a minimum of C grade passes in your A levels, and once you submit these documents, they will contact you. They will give you all the information that you require. They will give you the dates, the registration. All of these information can be found in the Indian Medical Council website. So you'll know exactly when to register, what are the criteria, if at all, and then yes, that is pretty much it. Then you'll have to go to India, write the exam, undertake the counseling, and then see to it from there.
Okay, thank you very much. And after this entry criteria, you enter the medical college and you complete your degree. And when you complete your degree, there are different titles, MBBS, MD, and different stuffs from different universities. Now, after the completion of your degree in India, what is next? How do you get the medical council registration of India? Or do you get that, or is it necessary to come back to your country to practice medicine? How does that work?
Well, in India, what happens is, I can only speak for my personal experience. After I completed my medical education of 4.5 years, I was given a 1 year internship that is compulsory to me. And this internship is mandatory for me to receive my medical degree as a completion. This 1 year of internship allowed me to work as a doctor in different medical departments such as medicine, surgery, orthopedics, pediatrics, etc. And while I'm doing this internship, I am provided with a temporary medical license. And once I'm done with this internship, I will have to submit a few documents provided by the university and myself to the medical council of my state. So my state was Karnataka, and I had to go to Bangalore, where the medical council was located. And I submitted all my documents, and I received my medical registration and my medical license, which allows me to practice as an MBBS doctor in the state of Karnataka. Now, that being said, there are students coming from all over India, different states, from Kerala, from Chennai, any of the northern states as well. So they have the option of completing their MBBS, pretty much their MBBS degree, and going back to their home states or wherever they want to go within India and do their internship there, provided hospitals are able to accommodate them. And once they complete their internship in that respective state, that 1 year of internship, they are able to register within that state's medical council. And once you register, you are fully qualified as an MBBS graduate.
All right, that's great. Now let's. I'm going to take you back to Sri Lanka now. So what's going to happen in Sri Lanka after this? If you want to practice in Sri Lanka here.
I personally do not have any intention of practicing Sri Lanka because I wish to pursue my master's now that I'm done with my MBBS. So I want to pursue my master's in the UK. Now, getting back to I have also done some research as well, trying to get back to Sri Lanka. So in Sri Lanka, once you have done your degree, once you've completed your internship and received your degree and your registration, you will have to come to Sri Lanka and get your foreign degree approved by the Sri Lankan Medical Council. And after that, you are eligible to sit for the ERPM, which is the name given to the Sri Lankan medical licensing exam. So, and as I've mentioned before, every single country has their own medical council. So they have different criteria, they have different eligibility standards, they have different exams. So all of these exams and all this information is provided in the Sri Lankan Medical Council website. So you can always access that. They have all the information there. So the Sri Lankan Medical Council informs the dates and all the information relevant to the ERPM, the medical exam. And once you get your degree approved by the medical council, they will give you a letter. Now, this letter will state that, yes, this so and so person's degree is approved by the Sri Lankan Medical Council and therefore eligible to work in Sri Lankan hospitals for about approximately 3 months as a pre-intern. And you can work as a pre-intern whilst preparing for the exam as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the exam as well, give you a basic rundown of it. So the medical exam has four parts. Let's name them A, B, C, and D. So part A is the theory aspect of four subjects, the four major subjects: medicine, surgery, and psychiatry as well. And it has 50 multiple choice questions, 30 true or false questions, and 20 single best answer questions. And once you're done with that, you will move on to part B, which is a viva. Now, the viva is like an oral exam, and it's also theory based. And going on to uh, and I forgot to mention, yeah, this also has a case-based study. So you'll be given like a medical case or a surgical case, and you'll be asked to describe the case, and you'll be questioned on it as well. You'll have enough practice doing this during your degree. And part C will have an oral exam as well, a viva as we call it, and this will be based on any emergency situations, any emergency cases that you will see in your emergency department or emergency wards. And part D will be about your community medicine and also forensic medicine. This also will have about 30 true or false questions. And that's about it. Now, the main thing that you need to note about the Sri Lankan Medical Council exam is that it has negative marking. So no matter if you get let's say you get 50 questions correct and you get 25 questions wrong, it your score will not be 50. Your score will reduce. Now, I don't know whether the negative mark is going to be 1 mark or it'll probably be a fraction of 1 mark, maybe 25% of 1 mark. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the Sri Lankan Medical Council. So I have a few of my colleagues, my batchmates, who came to Sri Lanka, and they started their preparation sometime between their third and fourth year. So it actually depends on how well you are able to adjust and how well you are able to prepare as well.
Right. Now, so that's clear. While you were explaining, you said you're going to go to the UK to start your practice over there doing the masters. And how does that work? What's the procedure of that? What's the roadmap of it?
Well, as of right now, which is the 27th of August 2023, the exam is called PLAB, PLAB. Now, this consists of two exams, which is PLAB 1 and PLAB 2. Now, PLAB 1 is a theory-based exam with 180 multiple choice questions, and you have 3 hours, which means one question per minute. And once you complete this exam, you'll have to wait for your result. Once you pass PLAB 1, you'll be able to book your PLAB 2 exam, which is in the UK, in Manchester specifically. So once you go to the UK, you'll be doing your PLAB 2 exam. It's a practical based exam, so you'll have to talk to patients. You'll have someone asking you questions about the patients, the cases. And once you're done with the PLAB 2 exam, once you pass your PLAB 2 exam, you will need to submit several documents, like your degree, your registration, any work that you've completed. And the medical council in the UK, called the General Medical Council, the GMC, will have all these information on their website as well. Now, why I mentioned the date before my answer is because from 2024 onwards, there is a change in the guidelines. So the PLAB it will no longer be available. It will be called the UKMLA, UK Medical Licensing Exam. So what in that it'll so from 2024 February they'll have a new exam. They've already updated their guidelines for this exam. They've already given like a blueprint or a syllabus for this exam. So if you so all the so students planning on going to the UK from 2024 onwards will have to apply for a UK MLA exam.
Right, it's very useful information. Now, I have another question connected to this. So after this foreign degree, maybe you do that in India or Bangladesh, wherever. If you want to move to the UK, you have to do your first exams, then that you can do from anywhere in the world, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Part
The
two,
General Medical Council, sorry,
yeah,
yes,
the part two, you have to fly to Manchester. That's the destination.
that's right. Yes.
Okay, so you have your first part exam is available all over the world. There are options for you to do it out of the UK, but the second part to be done in the UK.
That's right. So the there are many different centers all across the world. In Sri Lanka, the exam is undertaken by the British Council, and they'll usually have a center in Sri Lanka, in Colombo itself. And in India, there are multiple places where they have the exam. Some examples can be in Bangalore or Mangalore, Bangalore or Chennai, one of the major cities, basically. In Dubai as well, and even in the UK, you can go and do the exam as well. The exam centers are specific, and you will be able to book them, and you'll be able to choose as well while you're booking the exam. They'll have the options of choosing certain centers. However, it's a bit it's a bit edgy because the seats do fill up fast, so it's pretty much first come first serve. So if you're lucky, like I was quite lucky to get an exam center in Colombo itself. But I had a few of my friends who had to travel to Kenya or even the Middle East as well to do the exam. So, and once you're done with the PLAB 1 exam and you get a seat for PLAB 2, you'll have to apply for the UK visa as well. So the GMC will provide you an exam date, and you'll have to write to the embassies that you'll be attempting the PLAB 2 exam. And yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Right, thank you. Now you used and you gave an information earlier that you are trying to start your masters in the UK. So, what is the roadmap of that? If you start masters straight away, do you have to still sit for these club exams, or can you do it straight away and sit for the exams later?
The thing is, PLAB is the licensing exam as medical practitioners that all medical practitioners have to do prior to entering into entering into the UK and practicing on a patient. You cannot practice on a patient without a license to practice.
Yeah.
So you will have to complete PLAB first. You will have to complete PLAB first. And however, I have to mention that PLAB is not the only route to get into the UK. There's also an exam called the MRCP exam, which allows certain candidates, provided they have the necessary eligibility criteria, to get into the UK as well. Because I'm not 100% clear on the specifics on this exam. However, I do think it involves a period of postgraduate training for the MRCP. So if you do qualify for the MRCP, that's a different exam altogether. You can do that exam and you can enter UK as well.
Right. So I think we have started from A levels and we have landed in the UK with the exams to practice medicine in the UK. Now, audience, within this discussion, or maybe beyond that, if you have any questions, please, you can speak to Dr. Mark, and he'll be happy to answer your questions. Any questions?
Hi, hi, sir.
Hi, hi,
Hi,
Nesan. Yeah,
Ashal.
please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here, as per the doctor said regarding that FLAB exam, so
yeah.
the material, exam tools, the study tools and material, which website we have to buy that, and what is that territory for that? So which website we can able to buy, or what is that? Example, USMLE, they have like a what do you call, USMLE books is there. So FLAB, what is the tools? What are the tools?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So
Got it? Clear?
PLAB has several tools. The tools that I have used are MedRevision and Plabable, and as well as Plab Keys. MedRevision, Plabable, and Plab Keys. Now, all of these are online tools that you have to use. You cannot print them out because of legal and copyright issues. So you'll have to buy them online, and you can access them online as well. Now, you don't need to get all these materials. However, they do have a free trial that you can use to check and see which materials are best suited for you. MedRevision, in my opinion, MedRevision is really good. However, the material is a lot. So if you have a lot of time, I would definitely recommend MedRevisions. And Plabable is an app that you can use. You can download it on your phone. And it has many questions that you can just read and answer, and they'll have little explanations as to which answer is correct, and they'll have reasons stating why as well. So that's the Plabble app. There's one other thing that I've said, that's Plab Keys. Now, Plab Keys is more like a revision guide that you can just quickly read through as well. I hope I've answered your question appropriately.
Yeah, clear. And I have one question. Example for FLAB, from beginning to until finish, how much cost will come? There is any, you have any a cost plan? How much is cost for the playing the tools and for the participant in the exam? So this kind of overall cost, how much will come to that?
Well, I'm not sure about the Plab 2 part because I've only just done the Plab 1. So that's 250 sterling pounds for the exam itself. The materials can cost anywhere between, it depends on your subscription to the materials. So depending on how long you want to access the materials, your cost can vary. So you'll have to access the website and see the costs yourself if you want to, like, depending on the materials. I don't have them on hand with me right now. So
Fine. And how you plan your study time? So per day, how many hours for focus for the FLAB to study uh, to get learn that subject and all? How many hours per day you are depending use sorry use for the study?
well, I don't know how to answer that because it's a common misconception that the longer you study, the more you'll know. It's never going to be like that, especially
Oh,
in
yes.
my experience, because it only depends on how well you study for a specific amount of time. Like I have had days where I could have studied 6 hours, and I've had days where I was only able to study 2 hours. But I can honestly guarantee you those 2 hours, if you use it productively, you'll actually be able to accomplish more than if you just study for 6 hours, and that's only by trial and error. You'll have to, but I would recommend that you leave at least 3 months for your preparation for PLAB. This allows you enough time to quickly experiment with the materials that you want to try and want to keep for your PLAB exam. as well as it'll give you enough time to focus. It should give you enough time to focus, provided you give at least about 3 to 4 hours a day, and 3 to 4 hours a day for 3 months. Proper focus. I mean, there will be days where you will not be able to focus. There will be days where you feel lazy, and all of these are normal things. So that's just how it goes. I would recommend 3 months at least for the preparation time.
Dr. Mark, I have a question here now. When are the exams in the year? Is it how many exams are there? How many times do they conduct the exams, and when is it? And what's the duration between the first exams and the second exams? If you do the exams this year, maybe in September, then when will you be writing your second exams?
Well, the PLAB 1 exam is conducted 4 times a year. Once in February, once in March, once in once in June, and once in November. It's going to be a little iffy because the dates do vary from time to time. So I think it's once in February, once in May, once in August, once in November. I think that's more accurate. And uh, I do believe that I'm not sure about this, but I can tell you that the PLAB 2 exam takes place after the PLAB 1. So it actually depends on whether you pass the PLAB 1 exam and what are the dates available for the PLAB 2. Because I think PLAB 2 just takes place about twice a year. I'm not too sure on that. It takes place twice a year, and it depends on if you pass PLAB 1 and the available dates, basically. So whatever date is available, you can just book it online, and then they'll just send you all the information that you need for the exam.
So once you pass your exam 1, you are straight away eligible to sit for this one, provided the availability of the seats.
Yes.
Right. Any questions, please? Right. So I think that is it from us. If you don't have any questions, we can wrap up. Thank you very much, Dr. Mark, once again from B-TIC Talk. Today, you have given us a very useful information for the audience, and the recordings will be available to you for the others as well, so you can listen to later. And thank you very much for your time. Thank you, audience from all over the world, in fact, for joining us today. And I see you in another program, another B-TIC Talk with another guest. Have a great evening. Thank you very much.